We're gonna swim, bike, and run in the Kona sun. We're gonna swim, bike, and run in the Kona sun 2021.
Pancho Man! It's so great to see Pancho Man, and we are not quite at Huggos on the Rocks. My name is Bob Babbitt. This is Breakfast with Bob, the Not Quite Kona edition. We are brought to you by Hoka One One Credo Tri, Four Seasons Walleye Challenge, Daytona, Form Goggles, Canyon Bikes, Normatec, Amp Human VeloFix, UCAN, and of course our Challenged Athletes Foundation. Our next guest, seriously one of our favorite athletes on the planet, the most dominant cyclist in the world. Mr. Andrew Starykowicz joins us. Andrew, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I mean, I can't complain. I'm just happy I'm not sitting next to you sweating my butt off there in Kona.
So what's great is the next race is Challenge Daytona, and talk about an event that is built for you, right? Where you averaged 30 miles an hour on the bike last year. The bike leg is longer this year, I think.
Yes, but so is the run.
Talk a little bit about that event and why that event is so good for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a course that, well, first of all, you get away from the heat of, Kona, and you're going to bring that same world-class field to a race that it's going to be significantly cooler. I mean, maybe in the low 80s, but probably, I don't know exactly what time we're starting, but if it's an early morning start, I mean, you're going to be in the 60s for the start and probably 70s to 80s by the finish. And and it's also a non-traditional distance. So, it's super exciting. And I mean, that place, it's a world center of speed. So it truly is. The 2 years that they've done it, I've been there both years. And, it's rolling down that back straightaway. It's a long, straight section of pavement. And you lock in the aero position and you roll.
You roll. And you were actually one of the few guys, I think, who was using using basically the track itself. You're using the bank going up and down. What was some of the philosophy there?
No comment.
You don't want to share anything. I've been noticing.
No, there's $1 million on the line.
There's $1 million bucks. I know.
On the line.
It's huge. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, nothing in the sport's ever been this big, and I'm not going to let any secrets go.
So I noticed that Lionel Sanders has been training on a velodrome, which makes a lot of sense, right?
Yes, it does.
So is that something, if you had access to it, would you be training on a velodrome?
I do have access to one.
Oh, that's right. You were in Chicago.
Yes.
There's a velodrome there.
We got two of them within 45 minutes.
Very cool. So, Andrew, when I look at the end of last year, and you were second at Waco, and then went right from that a week later and had a phenomenal race in Florida. I mean, it's one of those things when you get third in Florida and go under 8 hours, go 7:56:32, do a 4:01:19 bike ride. I mean, basically any other year, all they're talking about is Andrew Starykowicz. But in this case, he had Joe Skipper and Ben Hoffman, and they had great runs. But talk a little about your end of the season, because you were, and then add to that Daytona after that in December, you had 3 awesome races in a row.
Yeah, you just look at the last 18 months, I'll call it, going into COVID. Up until Challenge Daytona, outside of World Championships, I had 13 straight podiums. And, in a sport like this, that's very hard to do, stacking up, race after race after race after race. And, last fall I designed around Nice, and I had a pretty good race there. Again, it's not a course that suits me well. Everybody was shocked to see me show up there because, I outweigh most of my competition by 20 kilograms. And you throw one of those weights on your back and go up a climb, it's a big difference. So, I had my season designed around Nice, and then as soon as Nice was gone, I honed in on Kona. And I mean, that was just, I mean, I just want to get one fair shot at Kona. I mean, last year I was sick. 2014, 2014 I was injured. And then, the other 2 years I just wasn't on and race day. And that's a course where you need to be on. And I just want to get that fair shot where I have a good day there and race well. But it was mean. I got sick. I was sick, very sick, and sick enough not to start. I mean, that was my first ever did not start in 120 pro races or so that I've done. It was I didn't like it. And I took that fitness and kind of carried it on to the rest of the season. And, I mean.
Strong. So you must have finished the year going, this 2020 is going to be awesome. And then COVID hits and nobody's racing.
Yeah. I mean, but you can look at it. You can look at it one of two ways. I mean, if this would have, this could have happened any year. And, if it's going to happen, I mean, it's good that's happening this year and not like 2009, right after I left my job, or, another year like that. There's so many other years where it's like it could have been terminal, where, I'm in a point in my career where I know I've been through enough injuries. I've been through enough setbacks that, I know I can throttle it back and throttle it back up. But, it would have been like 2009 or 2013 or where, a lot of things are in transition in my life. It would have not been as, I would not be as comfortable as I am here. And, when it hit, we basically, like anybody, we brought our kids in from daycare since I wasn't going to be racing. And so this summer I really got to do a lot of cool things with my kids that I never would have gotten to do had we not had this COVID crisis. So, am I upset that I'm not racing? Yeah, I'm sad that I'm not racing, but I mean, I got to do a lot of things with my kids that are priceless. So for that, I'm very thankful. And I really don't mind what we've gone through here.
Well, and also you're bringing a different perspective. Back in 2016, you're run over by a truck, nearly lost your leg, broken back. I mean, you're lucky you're alive.
Yes,
and
very lucky.
Right?
I don't forget that.
Yes, I know. You're one of those guys. It's like, hey, okay, COVID hit, but I'm not sitting here in a wheelchair doing CPR on my little boy, right? Not knowing if I'll ever race again, not knowing if my little boy is going to live. So this stuff is not that big a deal compared to what you've gone through.
No, it's not. I mean, there's lots of chapters in my life of just screwed up situations. And, you look back at 2012, we had Abu Dhabi, you look at 2016, I got run over by a truck. I came back from hip surgery, which in 2014, previous to that, the only person that pretty much had come back to the top level of sport was Julia Mancuso, and everybody else was more on the chopping block. Right. I've come back from a lot of stuff over my career that, it was questionable that I ever come back. And certainly the biggest one is 2016. There's no words to really describe, getting back from something like that. But, it's just, you got to take things in stride and you can't push a rope. And this year is definitely a rope. And, there are races around. There was Cozumel last weekend. And, my wife and I, we just kind of look at each other and, right now it's, we want to get back to racing, but, you don't want to risk your health because, you get sick traveling there or traveling from, from a few people that I know who got COVID really bad. It would be that it is terminal for your career as an athlete.
Because the lung effect, right? It could really mess you up. So within a year of getting hit by that truck, and you basically, your career could have been over, right? You might not have been able to run.
Should have been over.
Should have been over. You won Steelhead, and then you won Ironman Louisville, both wire to wire. How special were those? Just to sort of prove to yourself that, hey, I'm back. I'm not just back racing. I'm back winning and dominating?
Yeah. Steelhead was surreal. There's no other, I mean, my first couple races back, it was just going through the motions and just being very thankful to be back racing. I mean, what was that? 2017 Ironman Texas was, I mean, people said, "Oh, you blew up on the run." No, I was pretty much planning on walking a lot of the run. And, I made it to about half marathon. And I mean, I got to say, I got a lot of professionals that the support from the other professional athletes as they passed me in that race. Cause I mean, I was leading when I started walking, and cause I pretty much got to a point where my leg was starting to bother me. My back was really starting to bother me. Cause I mean, Texas is another course where you lock in that arrow position and you don't get out of it. And so my back was starting to bother me. My leg was bothering me. So I said, okay, I'm going to walk the rest of the way. And I did that. And I mean, I remember Tyler Butterfield slowed up and gave me a hug and said, "Dude, it's so great to see you out here racing." And, it's moments like that, you don't forget. And I mean, even some of the girls slowed up and, talked to me for a minute as I was walking my 12 and 13-minute miles, which people think I mean, even my wife says, "You walk way too fast when we go for walks." And I'm like, "Man, this is how fast I walk." But, but then when Steelhead happened, that was really special. I mean, again, I didn't expect to win that race. I had a fortunate swim, I'll call it. The sun was glaring on the water, and I think everybody went slightly off course swimming towards the kayak. And I'm like, I think we needed to swim a little tighter of a turn. And so I swam a little different direction than everyone else. And I was either going to be really good or really bad about that decision. And it was the right decision. And I pretty much got a free 40 seconds on everybody because they all went swimming to the middle of Lake Michigan. But, I just took that and rolled with it. And then, I did. When I got out of the water at Louisville, I knew I was going to win the race. That was just one of those where I got out of the water and I was like, okay, it's on.
It's mine.
So
when I look at sort of the future, and now we got Challenge Daytona, then Challenge Miami, and there is, Challenge North America, they're talking about other races at tracks. And when I think of that, I think of you and go, if as our sport evolves in the States, if there's more races in the States at speedways where the bike is all in the time trial position, all power, that's you, my man. That is totally Andrew Starykowicz. Are you excited about where that whole thing is going?
Yeah, I'm very excited. I mean, that's it's I've been a motorhead my whole entire life. I could tell you many of the ovals of course will suit me very well because they're flat. But I would love to see, maybe get out in Sonoma on that road course, or up in Watkins Glen on that road course. Cause people just don't realize how much elevation some of those tracks have. And Road America is another one. I worked many years at a triathlon in Elkhart Lake, which is, the lake is literally right up the street from the road course there. And if we could put together where we could swim in the lake and get on that road course, that would be, a lot of these road courses, you don't realize how much elevation they have. So, and hopefully this carries over into other countries. I know Canada, they've been using the DeFerrin circuit for a bunch of years with one of their tries. I think it's up in Montreal. Mm-hmm. So, I think, there's a couple out there, but to get maybe a circuit of them throughout the world would be really cool. And again, it's going to help grow professional racing because we can cover the sport better. It's not we go out for a bike ride out into the middle of nowhere and come back. You can literally watch and track people. And that was one of the cool things the first year we did Challenge Daytona on the track, because it was such last second. And there's quite a few athletes that stuck around. And there were literally people with stopwatches every time they came by, taking splits. How fast are people doing laps? Who's going forward? Who's going backwards? It was just a really cool thing. And me as an athlete, I mean, it's like you're seeing these guys come by and basically taking splits each time. You're not getting the numbers, but it's cool to see people that involved and that intrigued with the sport.
What would it mean to you to win Challenge Daytona? I mean, we're talking the biggest prize ever, right? And everybody's going to be there. Anybody who can get here from Europe is going to be there. And, you are the king. You're the king of the track, man. You're 30 miles an hour. A lot of these guys will be on that track for the first time. You've had a couple years of riding there. What would it mean to win that thing?
I couldn't even tell you. I mean, the first to race the inaugural race at Challenge Daytona,
Yeah.
and for us, kind of due to weather, have the opportunity to just race on the track and pretty much transform racing for the future was really cool 2 years ago. And, to now put the biggest prize purse on it. And it's a course that, of the top professionals that I probably have the most experience at, which is 2 years versus a couple of them have 1 year or 0 years.
Yeah.
I'll take having the experience and use that to whatever I can to my advantage. There's definitely a few things that I am going to work on to hopefully be more successful there. But it's flat, it's fast, and it's going to take. There is no changing gears. I mean, you can almost bring fixed gear bikes to the race. So
I love it. I can't wait. I can't wait. It's going to be so fun. We're going to see, probably top 5 people, all of them averaging 30 plus.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think. Each year I've gone back. The speeds have gotten significantly faster on the bike and the run.
Yeah.
So, with now adding that additional prize purse, I think you're going to see some insanely fast bikes. I think you're going to see some insanely fast runs. And, I don't know for the swim, because given the COVID situation, a lot of people are in a lot of different boats with the water. I mean, literally here, there's very few pools that have access.
Oh, good point.
And so I'm scrapping for water time here and there. And, by scrapping for water, who knows where the swim's going to be. And so, some people might come out with better swims than they've had in the past relative to others, and I'm going to be in the boat where, I really don't know what the water's going to bring. So, I'm going to become a land animal, hopefully, in the race and survive the swim, because, honestly, I'm hardly being able to get into any time in the water just due to the whole coronavirus.
Yeah, I'm sure you're not alone. I'm sure most people are dealing with the same thing.
Yeah, well, hopefully the VASA trainer is working here, because I've been spending a lot of time on the VASA trainer, and is it going to carry over? Is it not? I don't know.
Love it. Andrew, as always, so much fun to chat with you, and we couldn't be happier that Xander's doing well. He seems to be happy, and he's having a great summer.
Yeah, he's actually like one of the few people that are in person learning. He's in early intervention for school, and he's in person. So he gets to get on the bus each day and sit next to his girlfriend, and it's like he's the one with the closest to normal life, and the rest of us, my daughter's doing e-learning, and so for about 3 hours each day, I have a 1-year-old that I have to entertain. So, I got 5-year-old e-learning. I got a 4-year-old that's, I get a break from for 3 hours a day. And then trying to entertain a 1-year-old is a lot of work. It's like, oh, it's a 1-year-old. I can get stuff done. And no.
Andrew, thank you, buddy. We will see you, in less than 2 months around 2 months down in beautiful Daytona, where we'll see some fast times, baby.
Are you going to stay in the infield this year, or are you going to take a
I'm
hotel?
hoping we'll stay in the infield. That'll be great. Why move around if you don't have to?
I hear you. I got my RV spot, and I'm a new. I rented my RV, and we're going to park there on the infield. And once we're in, I ain't leaving.
No, there's no reason to. No reason.
There's no reason. And it's like I'm looking at do I do a race just before? It's like the risk to get sick is way too much. It's like I'm going to go there, I'm going to hibernate in the middle of the infield, and then I'm going to race on race day, and then if I get sick, if I get sick on the way home, that'll carry over to next year.
Love it. Andrew Starykowicz has been our guest again. Breakfast with Bob, not quite Kona edition. Andrew, thank you as always for taking so much time. We will see you in Daytona, brother.
Sounds good. Be safe.
Thank you, buddy.